Picture this. It's a hot summer day in July and you've been playing outside for hours. It's the good old days, when your neighbors were your best friends. You spend each day running around, riding bikes and scooters, and eating ice-cold popsicles. Everything's perfect. Except you're in a wheelchair that's overheating in the hot sun, your mom has to hold the popsicle up to your mouth for you because you're too weak to lift it up yourself, and you don't get to ride a bike, you're stuck in your sweaty wheelchair. This describes the life of Shane Brokaw. The 21-year-old with a neuromuscular disease called spinal muscular atrophy type 2 has been fighting hard for a new sense of normal for the majority of his life, being diagnosed at around 9 months old. This disease lacks the proteins that create and maintain muscle tissue. Basically, Shane's bones are so weak that he's unable to move on his own. He relies on his trusty wheelchair and his use of positivity and humor to get him through his fatal disease. Although visually this disease consumes Shane, it doesn't define him in any way. Shane shares many examples throughout his life when he's frustrated because all some people can see is a crippled, unproportionate kid stuck in a wheelchair. They see a kid that needs constant supervision and help doing everyday simple tasks. They see Shane as less than, as if they need to talk down to him, like he's not even in the room. Just take a moment to reflect. As a kid, have you ever been mid-conversation with an adult when they do the high-pitched, overly positive voice? They open their eyes so wide to talk to you that you wonder how it doesn't hurt them. And they continuously call you honey or darling. No one likes that feeling. Maturity in our generation is a rite of passage. The more mature looking or acting you are, the more respect you gain from your peers. For Shane, he's pretty much stuck in this bubble. He can't prove his maturity to anyone else when what they see is a completely different thing than what is actually within him. He's always being talked down to. He's always being treated like a kid. But instead of getting frustrated that people aren't willing to listen to what he has to say or that they're judging his appearance and his appearance only, he doesn't let his lack of mobility take that away from him. In his book, Laughing at My Nightmare, he states, "My life would be normal. SMA was not the end but the beginning. A bump in the road, an obstacle to rise above." And so the journey began. This is something that everyone can learn from. Many people with the disease let it consume them and take over their perception of themselves. They block out all other opinions of themselves and focus on the negative. Let's face it, we all do this. When someone targets your deepest insecurity, it leaves a much bigger impact than when someone compliments you. It burns self-doubt into your skin, and even the bandage of a compliment won't remove the scar that it's left, as well as the awareness of the pain for the time being after. For Shane, his list of insecurities is a long one, which makes sense considering he can't really function like the normal person. He's lived his life full of lots of disappointment. He's missed out on sports teams with his friends, sleepovers, any sense of privacy, and many other little things, as well as the news that his life isn't going to last very long, and he'll never be able to have and raise kids. There's a hard pill to swallow. His body weakens every single day, and his bones are at risk of shattering with every time he moves an inch. Shane needs help brushing his teeth, going to the bathroom, eating any meal, bathing, and the anything and everything in between. But despite this abnormal and frustrating life that Shane lives, he treats it like he's the luckiest person alive by combating his problems with humor and positivity. Throughout his book, Laughing at My Nightmare, he shares about his life and the ways that he overcomes his fatal disease, SMA. One way that Shane deals with his disease and the many things in between is humor. Personally, whenever I'm sad, people making me laugh and crack a smile usually cures most of it. According to the Mayo Clinic, laughter can activate and relieve your stress response, soothe tension, improve your mood, and even improve your immune system. Laughter is no joke a cure, and Shane takes full advantage to using this cure to combat his disease. He uses the idea of laughter being the best medicine and runs with it. He uses self-deprecating humor, which actually just gives him more confidence in the ability to laugh at himself, which is pretty huge. When talking about how it's scary to make friends in middle school, he states, "When you look like I do, a starving Ethiopian child with a balloon head who basically drives a robot, making new friends can feel pretty daunting." This shows Shane's ability to make fun of himself and keep things lighthearted. He's trying to make the best of a situation, and using humor is a good way to do that. Although we may be able to mask some of our sadness by using humor and getting ourselves to laugh, sometimes we are simply upset about things, and that's okay. We all have our good days and our bad days. Sometimes I have days when every little thing will get to me. It's like no matter what I do, nothing will go my way. But after reading this book, it became clear to me that there's much better ways to deal with these issues than letting it get to me. Shane came up with this method when he got upset about, his life-threatening disease and all. It's called the 10-year rule. When something is bothering him or he's simply just upset, he'll ask himself, will my life be negatively impacted by this problem in 10 years? Or is there anything I can do to prevent this problem right now? If the answer is no, then move on. It's not worth your stress and your tears. The coronavirus. It's put us all through hell and back for the last 9 months, and just when things start to get better, life says, nope, psych, and we're back to where we started. The combined anxiety attacks, stress of online school, lack of social interaction, unescapable home life, or even dealing with the death of someone you loved. Many are problems that majority of us are experiencing the effects of. There's been nights that I haven't slept because I've been wide awake listing off all of the negative, everything that's going wrong. I think about the birthday party I didn't get to have, the family I didn't get to see for Thanksgiving, the high school soccer season I missed out on, the family trips we had planned, all just gone. But after reading this book, I began to list the happy things. In Shane's book, he says, there's nothing I can do to solve any of those problems above, so what good will come from spending my time being sad about them? Instead, I focus my mind and energy on doing the things that make me happy, like laughing, joking, eating, and spending time with my friends. I can't make school any less stressful. I can't magically bring back the death of my aunt. I can't do anything about my insecurities. I can't bring school back. I can't make the virus stop. But what I can do right now is breathe. Take a deep breath. The things you're stressing about right now, you most likely don't have much control over. Ask yourself, will it matter in 10 years? In 10 years, are you going to be worked up over a Spanish final or upset about being stuck in your house all day, every day? No. So relax and know that you're doing what you can, and that's simply enough. When things seem to be taking over your life, when there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel and no escape, just remember, you are bigger than your problem. You are bigger than any disease, heartbreak, test score, death, friend issue, or anything else. Shane has a life-threatening disease, yet he's one of the most positive people out there. He relies on his friends and his family as well as doing the things he loves. When things get hard, know that it's just another storm passing through. Adversity itself doesn't represent who we are. It's how you choose to deal with your problems and overcome hardships that shows who a person truly is inside. Thank you.